Me. Okay.
Because when she's bad, she's real bad.
Don't you know the first day miles round? Don't you know the first day inside? Midnight downtown. Don't forget your sunset behind. It's all in favor, locked up in Sable, where we arrive. It's tango cable, it's clanging sleigh.
You got Facebook up yet?
You working on it?
YouTube is only about 5 seconds
Honey,
behind.
please.
Remember last year.
Last year, it's still in my head.
Okay, Facebook should be coming up.
Okay.
Kiss my hair.
So as I was saying, YouTube is only about 5 seconds behind.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks for the heads up.
And checking now on Facebook. Facebook's only about 15 to 20 seconds behind, which is really good for Facebook.
I'd say, but the night is young.
And we are beautiful.
It's all in favor, locked up in stable, where we arrive. It's tango cable, it's clanging sleigh bell, where we align.
And Facebook comments for highlighting is working well today. One of these days we'll get YouTube
Yes.
back up and working.
Good old new blue Tyler.
Don't forget your sunset behind. It's all in favor, locked up in Sable, where we
That was easy.
it's tango cable, it's clanging sleigh bell.
Hello, Facebook and YouTube world. How's everybody out there doing today? 3 minutes until showtime. Call-in number, if you don't see it up there, is 563 999
22185.
I hear an echo, echo, echo.
Maybe.
Remember last year?
It seems so far away.
Last year?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Where were you this time last year?
Gardening. Safe bet.
Yeah, I guess it was before our trip, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. We had a foreign exchange student with us.
We sure did. I remember it well.
Mizuki from beautiful Japan.
Haven't seen anybody type anything in yet, have they?
Nah, they're being quiet. But when I
Okay.
say that, one or two usually drops off.
That can happen.
Oh,
Turn that stream back on. Come on, let's stream. Yeah, it says the broadcast has ended. Okay. Let's jump back a screen. And come on now, I want to start live streaming on Facebook again. Well, this is getting close, getting exciting.
right down to the wire.
Greenbridge friends, Michael here at BridgeHands, and I think we are here. We just had a little hiccup, a little bump on the road. Are we live again, Grace? What's going on?
We're back live on YouTube. Lost a couple. Try refreshing if it's not working for you. And I'm checking on Facebook. I do not see us back yet.
Okay, well, it might be a little bit delayed, but it looked like it was transmitting, and no, it shows it's once again has the spinning wheel, the dreaded spinning wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and do knock us off of YouTube for about maybe 10 seconds, and then 14 concurrent viewers on YouTube. And okay, it looks like we're back up on Facebook. So sorry about that. Hey, we are back again. Michael here at BridgeHands, and welcome to, it is the 5th of May, and I think that is Grace Cinco de Mayo. We haven't said that yet. Woohoo!
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, so what do we think about on Cinco de Mayo? What do you think about, darling?
I think about tequila.
I was thinking about Mexican food. Do you want
works
something to
too.
wash that down with? You have some of that hot, spicy food?
Margaritas.
It's nice to go ahead and have something to cool it off there.
Hi, Bernice. Hi, John. Hi, Eva. Welcome.
Good. Hey, thanks for hanging in there, guys. Eva, good to have you here too. Bernice and John, howdy. And we're starting off another day where it's kind of like bridge sometimes, where you get that first hand or so, and it's like, I know we can pick it up. So a little things out in Comcast land. I don't think it's YouTube, because when both of them kind of have these little perturbations, hiccups, whatever you want to call them, this can happen. But we are here now live, and so fingers crossed, and good things are hopefully going to happen for the rest of this show. So we're continuing to talk about defense. And you remember me yesterday, I was talking about when we are defenders, it helps if you're good declarers, because then you know what the declarer is doing. And typically we're contrarians. We want to do the opposite of what they're doing. And at least if we know what the plan is of the enemy, we can think about our counter plans and be aware. And today, well, this is a little bit of psych warfare, I guess, psych ops, psychological things. And we don't normally talk about that much bridge. And we talk about, oh, we're all left brain, we're all very cerebral, and we're thinking. But there is an emotional side to the game. And we certainly know that. That's probably what got us here in the first place, is we like the excitement, the drama, hopefully the synergies, working well and communicating well with your partner. But there is the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or in the stock market, what? There is only fear and greed. There's no room for the pigs. So in bridge, we have some of these other emotions which may or may not be positive. And even the amount of time it takes to think before you speak again can be a factor at the bridge table, or the amount of time that you hesitate. Mike Lawrence had an interesting word that I remember he used one time, is not a twitch, but something like that. I forget what the exact word is. It may come to me. But where you have like a flicker, and you can watch for that in the opponent. So be careful with the tells. I was going to save this for the lesson, but I'll just bring it up right now. I used to have a reverse tell, and I realized, oh, I've got a reverse tell. A tell is when you're in poker or in bridge, is when you're playing your cards and you maybe think some extra time, or you kind of like when you have the queen in your hand, you kind of move in the chair a little bit when they're thinking about doing a finessing. So, okay, I was going to do the opposite. I thought, oh, I'm so clever at this game. So when I would have the finessable card and the right-hand opponent was the declarer, and what would I do? I'd kind of look off to the side and like I'm somewhere else and not interested. And if you do that all the time, and then they know that you don't have the card, that's not so good. So if you look over to the left all the time, then maybe it's not quite so easy. But be careful with your tells or your reverse tells, because that might, having the observant declare, and the better the player they are, the more they're going to be watching. This is authorized. You can't see where a person pulls their card from the hand. Is it the one over on the end? So it's either the highest, normally person puts from high to low, from left to right. We're not allowed to look and see where the cards come from the hand. And if you're a good player, you put the cards down under the table, don't you? For two reasons. One, you don't want your opponents, if they are sneaky, to be seeing where you pull the card from. Number two, what's a good second one? You don't want to drop the card on the table. It becomes faced up, and then the director comes over, major penalty, all these types of consequence for that. I have seen some players, I don't have a pack of cards here with me, but I'm going to maybe show it just on this little pieces of paper that I have in front of me, which is kind of, I think we'll show an example. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference, but I have two pieces of paper here. So imagine these are two cards. Now, we normally have the cards at some kind of spacing between them. I've seen some top players where they'll put the cards so close next to each other, like this, where they can see just a little bit of that it's a jack or whatever it is. You know, they might be able to see it from their distance, but if you're a kibitzer, you'll be damned if you can see. And that's why they're doing it. They don't want, if you're kibitzing, is to be like making body language or gestures or mannerisms, like which we should never be doing. But some pros, even though they have their cards up a little higher, nearer their chest, when they say chest the cards, is that they'll have the cards so close together that nobody behind can actually see. I mean, it would be bad ethics. It would be obviously against the laws of bridge if you were a partner, or friend, I should say, of somebody that's defending against them, and you're making these little signals or things, which would certainly get you barred from ACBL bridge. I wouldn't say it's never happened. It gets in these big international tournaments and it can happen. So we're talking about defense today, and we're talking about when do we cover an honor with an honor. And I had mentioned yesterday that, well, we want to be aware of what the declarer is doing, is what I'm talking about now, before you can be a good defender. And then I had an epiphany sometime between yesterday and today, and I thought, well, why don't we take a look at it from the declarer's perspective? And then I think it'll be so much easier from the defender's perspective, is what's going on. So that's how I'm going to try to orient the lesson today, and I hope that you find it useful. I look forward to your feedback on that. So if somebody wants to call in, let's go ahead and head over for the table and see what we've got here. Go over to Deep Finesse, and I think this is it. And that call-in number is 563-999-2185. So if somebody wants to come in, fine. If not, we'll just go ahead and continue on. But love to have you come visit with us. Always enjoy the company that we have. So, okay, let's see. The first hand, I should be able to get that up here. F1 and a Control B, and there it is. And I want to show the north-south hands. This is the declarer's perspective first, and then I think you're going to see a little bit more clearer how the defender might play. So, okay, so here it is. We would like to have all 4 tricks in the suit. It's Ace 8-7 little on the north, opposite King Jack 10 fourth in the south hand. And so, well, when you got the missing queen, there's a two-way finesse, isn't there? So if the queen is over in the, well, where is my, there is my little pen. Okay, go over here and make some notes. If the queen is over here, oops, that's, can't hardly see it. Let's come over a little bit further. If the queen is over in the west, then yeah, we'd like to play the jack and catch it that way. If it turns out, oh no, the queen is over here, then we would like to play the ace and then just go ahead and rinse, wash, lather, and repeat. Come the other way. So yeah, it depends on where the queen is, and we don't know. It's a two-way guess. Now, if some of you are out there want to make some comments, is that what would you think would be some other information besides just making it a priori type of guess, meaning we have no other information? What would be some of the information that might influence you on who has the queen? A hunting we will go.
Howard is here, and he says, if queen is in the west hand, how can you get 4 tricks?
Well, okay, that's a good question. So if the queen is over here, we play the jack. If the queen doesn't pop up, we just, well, I guess if the 9 is missing, it might be a little bit harder, I think. But so then I guess we would play a little and then see what happens next, since we're also wondering about the 9. So if the 9 plays, then I guess we do cover, and then we win the ace and we win the 4th. We've got 4-4, and they've got 3-2. So I hope that answers that question. Yes, Grace?
Couple nice comments here. Howard does go on to say that the defender may have 9XXX, and Bernice said, opening lead, not that suit. Maybe that hand has a queen. John adds,
well, let's just get that one. Just, whoa, slow down.
Slow down, Nelly.
We'll put you on those horses. So, yeah, so that's excellent. I really like that. I want to kind of highlight that as maybe that's number 1. We'll see how many we can come up with, is that the opening lead. So yeah, the opening lead is that, you know, do they make a safe lead in another suit? I don't know. If we're in 6 no trump and they don't want to lead away from the queen, I wouldn't be leading away from a queen if they're in 6 no trump. If you want to make an aggressive lead, and you think we better get some tricks first, opposite 6 spades, let's say, and now I've got a queen 3rd of hearts, then yeah, sure, that would be fine. So the opening lead, we don't know what this contract is, but opening lead would be a good criteria to think about. You know, why did they lead a trump on another suit? Okay, next one, Grace.
Alrighty, John says bidding and defense signals, and I do
hold
have
on.
one more when you're ready.
Bidding, yes, is 1, 3, and ostensibly this is a side suit. I think it would be probably. The signals, yes, the signals as the play is going by the defenders. I think we're talking about is that we're the declare here. Okay, I like that. Anything else?
There's a comment from Ed speaking about the transmission, but I think it might be on his end. And Ed, try hitting refresh, and I think it should be better. Is the volume and the connection good for everybody else?
It says we have excellent streaming, and what are we, about 5 seconds delayed on
Yeah, not too bad at all.
YouTube?
I'm seeing
Good.
it really well
Okay.
here.
And I'm looking out on Facebook, a copy of it, and it looks like they're both working right now. So hang in there, and maybe you've got a little something on your side too. Patty says a little popping. Do you hear me popping?
Yeah, I do hear a little bit of transmission popping, but not really bad.
Oh, on the transmission of it, huh? Okay. I'm just going to turn down my volume just a little bit, and I'll try to be less of a popper. So, all right. So, yeah, those are three great items. I think also, as we talked about, is whatever you want to call it, body language.
That sounds like a dance move from the disco
It
days.
is. That's right. You're watching your opponents dance. You know, if they're doing a do-si-do and they don't complete the maneuver, you know something's up. So no. So there are other things that you can think about to get that thing we call table feel, right? Okay. So aside from that, these are really good opponents, man. They are got their stone sober face on. They play every card in tempo, 5 to 7 seconds. They play a card. We can't even get anything by the speed of the play. So, man, these people are good. Their eye contacts or things like that. No tells, no reverse tells. So we don't know what to do. So as declarer, I guess that you're in the south hand. And since you don't know who has the queen, we're going to use some psychological operations. We're going to play the jack. And we're going to see if there's some fidgeting going over by our dear friend in the west seat. And west. Okay, let's go to north and west. Northwest coming up. Okay, you should see it in the screen a little bit. Mine is there, and if you're on YouTube, yeah, it looks like they're both there. Facebook, yeah, it's there also on Facebook. Okay, so, they're leading the jack. Oh yeah, that's right. That was the purpose of this lesson, wasn't it? Was when do we cover? And the question is do we cover now? Queen, 9, or 3. That is your choice.
We're going to wait and...
We'll wait a little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
Queen, 9, 3.
And guess
Okay,
what?
Howard says, play Q now to promote the 9.
Oh, okay. Howard wants to go with the queen. Anybody else?
And you said, guess what? What were we guessing?
One queen out there.
Okay.
You know, I do have a device that I'm thinking about using for polling. It's where you just punch in a number on your cell phone. Once you get the connection, you just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for which card you want to play. That may come up.
Okay.
That way the person doesn't have to type it on the screen if they want to be anonymous. Just be one of the votes.
Nice. We've
So
got a
look into
couple
that.
more options here.
Okay, what are they?
No combed says low, and John says cover with the Q, so 9 gets over 8.
Okay,
Gin,
thank you.
Gin dummy?
Okay, that's right. That's close enough. So anyway, yeah, this is the thing. Now, if you took more than 6 or 7 seconds, I, as a declarer, am thinking, well, kind of feels like that person has the queen. If they took quite a while and then they didn't have it, some people will then call the director and say, that person, it's like when you play a singleton, you take a long time. They took a long time, and then the director is saying, well, excuse me, Grace, is like you took about 14 seconds, they tell me, before you made that. Do you agree that's how long it took? Well, yeah, I was thinking about some other things. I was just kind of thinking about the last card that was played, whatever. Now determination has to get played. But, yeah, so I guess that if you are taking extra time, it might be at your peril as the declarer, but if a person takes a long time, I think maybe there's something in that hand. Grace?
Bernice agrees with you. She would be staring at her cards for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, so if you, with every card, you take about 5 to 8 seconds. If you take more than 15 seconds, that's, if you take it on every card you play, oh gosh. But if you, sometimes you play 2 or 3 seconds, and other times you take 9 seconds, I'm going to use that information for what it's worth if I need to have some help. But yeah, so let's take a look at all those cards and see. First off, we want to compliment the declarer for giving the guess to the west. I like that, giving the guess to the west. Okay, so let's go ahead and show all the hands here. And Grace, do you have another comment?
We do. Joel says, play the 3, make the declarer guess. And then No Comb comes back and says, I wouldn't lead with the jack without the 10.
Awesome! Who said that?
That was No Combed.
Okay, here we go.
Nailed it.
One more.
Nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, because they would have the 10. And so it's Jack 10, 9. Oh, wait a second. We have the 9. Does that make a difference? Oh, yeah. Yes, it makes a big difference. So in this situation, you can see you have the 9. So if you're going to cover the last of the honors, because you know that they don't have Jack 10, 9, that actually does matter here. So that was very cool. I think we have to compliment our declarer, and when we're declarers, I am hoping we are as clever also to give West the guess, because let's see how it turns out, and I'm hoping you can kind of get the hang of it there. Grace, you have something else?
Already one more on this hand, and that's going to be from Joel, and he proceeds to say that the declarers should first play the king in case of a singleton Q.
Well, that is a possibility. Let's take a look at the odds on that. We have 8. They have 5. 28.26% chance that it's going to be 4-1. And of that, take 1/4 of that if you think it's a singleton queen. So it's, yeah, pretty low odds, but I like your spirit there. So let's take a look at the more normal 3-2 shape, which happens more than half the time here. Okay, so a jack. For those who want to go up, okay, we win the ace, and okay, we're going to go ahead and do our finesse now around the other way. Don't even have to finesse it if it's going to be, but we would finesse just in case it was 3 over in the right hand, and then go up, and hey, that worked out very nice. We have all those tricks. So as a declarer, when you're missing the queen and you've got this king jack 10, it's good to go ahead and lead the jack and give West, see if they're going to fidget a lot or what's going to go on, even though you don't have the 9, is that see what happens. Yeah, otherwise you can say, well, I'm just going to pound down the ace, and yeah, maybe it wasn't singleton, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and now play, and you've still got that guess. Now, I suppose if you looked on this last trick is what the magnitude of this card was, depending, I'm not going to worry about giving count because I see what they're doing on this. So I'm going to place any kind of odd card from the east hand, so the declarer is not going to figure me out. Grace, did you have something?
I'm just adding on to Joel's previous comment regarding leading the king. He asked, does leading the king compromise anything?
That's an excellent question. I guess that it does compromise something, and that is that if the queen, we don't know where it is yet, and this person just kind of plays smoothly in tempo, then the idea is this. You've tried to go do a little fishing expedition, is what the pros call this, and on your fishing expedition, this person just plays smoothly in tempo, and so it's a low, and we go up with the ace, thinking, oh, it must be in the other hand, because we can do the finesse both ways. So by playing the king, it's like, well, no, we're kind of firing the torpedo. It's gone. We don't have any choice on the two-way finesse anymore. But the better declarers are going to play the jack, and they know that they can still win it. And then after that, say, well, I guess I'm just going to try the other way because I never got any additional information. It's still a 50-50 guess where we didn't have those other 4 things that we talked about. So that would be the downside. Boy, these here got some great questions. So I guess what I'm asking you to do first is think as a declarer, how would you want to play this holding? And if you say, yeah, a king, jack 10, something like this, then play it from that side and see what happens if they want to cover. If they do, you've got the hand, you've definitely got your tricks. If you still don't have any good feel for it, maybe they fidget for 10 seconds and then they play low, then yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and not go up with the ace. But if you think, well, I didn't get any vibes, or maybe I think I got vibes over on the east for whatever reason, then yeah, you go ahead and just go ahead and go on up with the ace and finesse around on Easter. Hope that helps. Well, let's go on some more of these. So think like a declare, know how a good declare is. And once you know that, knowing how to defend these, I think it's going to be a lot easier for you. Okay, and I see John says trade the 9 and the 6 of south. Is it the same? The 9 and the 6 of south. The 9 and the 6 of south. Well, the 9, if we put the 9 in the south, well, I guess we could do that, modify the deal. 9, you're going down over there. I can't put a 6 there, but well, I guess I could do this if that's what you're trying to say. Maybe something like this. Would it matter? From South's perspective, let's see. Let's say it's just no trump there, and the lead is in South. Okay. So in this scenario here, we go like that, and oops, don't play that so quickly. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. In answer to your question, it's still going to be the same line of play, because when you've got 8, you're assuming that they're 3 and 2, not the 4 and 1, unless you have some other information. You know, if you have some other information, fine.
John clarifies the 9 and 6 of spades, east-west.
Oh, an east-west? No, it wouldn't make much. Well, that's a good question. I'm not going to be quite so fast to answer that now. But John asks these good questions. Okay, so
One teacher to another.
Yes, and so we're going to. Okay. With, let's see. And that was with which hands?
The east to the west.
The east to the west. Yeah, okay, this is it. So now we can see Queen 6 little. Well, this is a great question. So I guess the question is, and I had this in the lesson yesterday, who's got the 9? Yeah, it's not always with like, who's got the jack. We normally think, does my partner have the jack? Do they have the jack? You know, it's like they lead the king and then the queen. That doesn't mean they have the jack also. Or it could be the queen, the jack, who's got the 10? And this one, who's got the 9? So yeah, it still is the same scenario. So if you feel when the jack is led in this situation, okay, done. And this is going to be the lead is in the west. Come on. What happened here? Modify the contract. Let's make it 4 spades or no trump in the south, and west is on. I don't want west. Excuse me. South is on the lead. There we go. So this scenario here. So yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. We know from the declare is that you still can make the two-way guess on the queen, and you do when you have the 9. You obviously know you want to play low, because if they play the 10, you go up with the queen, then your 9's been promoted. You feel much more comfortable from West's perspective. From the declare, you're going to play it the same way. Good question, and we're going to go on to the next hand. Man, we're really milking that one. I had no idea. I have to have all these hands and things to cover, but we're just have such wonderful. Thank you for your participation. And let's go ahead and look at the next one. Load deal number 2.
Definitely
we will
makes
get
time
through
go
this.
by quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, so here's the next one. And guess what? South is opened, well, maybe they opened 2 spades. You know, we know that they've got 6. And then, you know, North gets wild there in some kind of a slam contract. And so the opening lead is over here by the west hand. And it's up to North. Maybe the first to heart was played to the ace, and now we're playing the queen. So you're over here in this hand, and you know there's maybe 5, maybe you know there's 6 if it was open to week 2, something like that. And it's like, don't take too long on making this. Don't play too fast. Well, if you play too fast, I've seen this with some better players, not really good players, but they say, oh, I'll play fast. I don't have it because I played fast. No, you're doing a reverse tell. So, you know, you just kind of, it's your turn. So if came to me, I would go like this. The queen has been played. And oftentimes they declare, if they're good declare, they'll play it fast. Queen. 3, 4. I'll just play the 9. And then they go into a deep tank. Is it when you've got 11, the odds between 2-0 and 1-1 is about the same. I don't know, it's 48 to 52 or something like that. So if you don't have any better information, if the person on the right opened, obviously they probably have the king because you got all the others if you're in the slam. But yeah, it's like if you play the king, well, yeah, you say it won't matter. Well, no, it does matter because you got to get in the mind of the declarer. Remember the declarer? If you were the declarer and the queen was played, it's like, when the 9 has been played, no reason to cover. You're going to think and you're going to think and you're going to be looking at the opponents. Can I get any information? You're going to be smelling. And then eventually you'll make the guess. But if you play the king, there's no guess. And so that's the point of this, is that make the declarer guess. Declarers make the defenders guess. That's what bridge is about on a lot of these hands. Same with the next one. And this time it's a little different. It's close to the same, but it's a 5-5-2-1. So the queen has been played, and we just play smoothly in tempo. And now they got 3, and it's like, man, well, it wasn't singleton king. That would have been so cool. Or if they would have gone up with a king, but I'm not getting a lot of cooperation. So maybe it's a singleton king in the other hand. I just don't know. So now we have that other information. It's not a priori, it's posteriori now, meaning we have a little bit of information because we see that at least there is one held by East, but it was at 2. So I hope you will be, when you get in this situation, you're not going to fidget too awfully long, and you're just going to play low in that scenario. Okay, and we kind of talked a little bit about these rules yesterday. Okay, here's the next one. I'm not going to cover them. Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe we should. Let's take a look at the north-south hand, and this looks familiar. I think we've seen that one before. I don't think there's any differences on it, in fact, so we're going to go on to the next one. And load deal number 5. Okay. All right, here you are, north-south, and you're having a great day, and then you get this situation, and I think we had this something like this with Eric, but it was where you've got over in one of the opposite hands, you've got the ace. This time we have the ace. Well, that's nice, but we're missing the king and the queen. So, we're missing, as John would say, the 9 too. Who's got the 9? Because in south, yeah, wow, doggone, I wish we had the 9, but we don't. So you could play the ace from the north and then try for a repeated finesse if you think both of the king and the queen were held by the east hand. That's one strategy. Or you could go ahead and try to trap it. Forget about the king. Imagine that we've had the king, but we don't. But just pretend we did. What would you play? You'd be playing it the same way from the south hand. You'd be playing the jack. And then you would see what would happen by west. So let's go to the northeast hand again. Oops, northeast, northwest I meant to say. So come on, northwest. There it is. Okay, so it kind of looks a little bit like before, except we didn't start with the king, and the king isn't the other hand. So yeah, it's like, well, here again, you've got the queen 9 little. So yeah, he doesn't have, or she, jack 10-9, so we're going to play low. And so when we play low, now north is like, oh, man. I'm going to show all 4 hands at this spot. And you can see the situation. Yeah, it was split king, queen, and we're not going to take as many tricks. If it went up with the queen, thank you very much. We take the ace, and now, excuse me, the ace, and a little is played here, a spade up 2, and ba-bing, bada-boom, and later on we come in on another suit, ostensibly, and we're going to take our 10 and come back. We'd rough it this time if it was a suit contract. So the point is like, yeah, don't go up with the queen when you've got the 9, something like that, even though In this case, they don't have the king also. Same thing. And declare, when you've got the split ace, jack, 10, this is the way you want to play. You want to play the jack, and you want to see if West is like we were before we knew these rules on how to play that. Okay, so we got time for, yes, one hand, and let's go ahead and hide the different hands there. So, okay, everything's hidden, and we're going to go off to hand number 6, load deal from file number 6. All right, so let's see what we've got for who's going to be 4, 7, 11, 12, 13. I'm not sure what the contract was supposed to be here. I'm just kind of looking at it, but let's have it. Who do I want to be dealer? I think we'll have it south. Okay, here we go. So it's a 4-4-3-2. No, 4 triple. Wait a second. 4. Am I missing a card? Am I just supposed to be 13 cards here? There we go. Phew, I was gonna say I normally look at the shape, and when they don't add up to 13, you know, when you say 4-4-3-2, but it's 4-3-3-2. No, something's wrong here. So you should do that whenever you pick up your cards. Okay, so here we have it. So south is the dealer. Now it's all making good sense, an abundant amount of sense. So it's a 4-3-3-3, 7 points, and another 4, and a 2.5. I like that, queen 10, and a 3. So 16 points are standard classic 1 no trump opening. And over to the west hand, they are going to pass. Over to our partner in the north hand. Come on, north. We'll just go north-south. There we go. North hand has 4 and 3 and 3, 10 points, and a 4-3-3. Do we discount a point when we have a 4-3-3? Oftentimes, yes. If I'm playing an imps game, the bonus is worth it enough that I'm going to play it as though I'm going to give myself all 10. I like to downgrade when I have a 4-3-3, but there are some exceptions. Do I have good body cards? 8s and 7s. Could be, but it's not that great. But I do have one thing that's going to say I'm going to go to 3 no trump. And most of the field is going to. If they're newer players, they're probably going to be just, 10 points. I like that I have all primary honors. And primary honors gives me a chance to help my partner promote a suit, and it often gives me a chance to where they can do some extra finesses, where if you got quackers, sometimes it's like, things just don't work as well, especially if they're split honors. So in a sense, although they're not in the same suit, they are working. If it was ace king in a suit and a king in another, that's even better. Now the honors are really working. But just things I'd be thinking about. So I'm thinking it's going to go 1 no trump, 3 no trump, and if you have some different thoughts on that, let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep going. So, okay. So the opening lead is going to be a hand from west, and they led the queen. Okay, they didn't enter the auction, and Grace, you have a comment coming in.
Patty thinks that this hand is scary.
Yeah, this hand has got some opportunities. When you have scariness, you have opportunities. If you're the only one in the room that can make a good play, then hoo-hoo. But yes, that's what we have when we have warnings there. So, okay, queen from a sequence. And so we have 6, and looks like queen jack 10, maybe could be queen jack 9 little, could be a 5-card suit, couldn't it? Do we have a 5-card suit? No, but they still could. 5-3-3-2 or something like that. Yes, Grace?
Patty would bid 2 no trump.
2, she would be a 2 no trumper. Okay, Patty. Since this is a defender play, and since like John did yesterday, if you can kind of mess up the person giving the lesson, not that he meant to, but he was kind of a little bit more careful with some of his bidding, having that other information, not a priori, knowing nothing, posteriori, where he knows some information. So maybe you would have too. With 16 points, I would go ahead and accept, Patty, for what that's worth. But you could say, oh, it was my fault that I overbid, not yours. No, don't do that to your partners. Okay, so we win with the king. And some people might say, why didn't you win with the ace? And then they don't know, because it could have been king, queen. Well, not unless you're playing something else, but no. When you lead the queen, unless you're playing journalists and the other person doesn't know, it's the top of the sequence. So I don't think it helped a lot. And you might say, well, Michael, shouldn't we have actually, before making the play, let's hold that card up. Shouldn't we have seen if we want to do a ducking play? Because we have 6, so should we have ducked one time to disrupt communications? A fair point. My comment would be, could we do it later? Yes, we could do it later. So, but we can see that our project suit, and you would want to take about 30 seconds to a minute before you start playing. I'm just doing the interest of time. But you would say, oh, it's obviously the diamonds is our project suit. That's where we have the honors we're going to be working with. Yes, Grace?
John says, promote diamond suit, play low to the king.
Ah, okay, John. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this old load the deal again, just to be sure that I'm not giving some different strategy to play on here. Come on. Okay. And oops, this is a different hand, isn't it? Load deal. Is it number 5? No, I think it was number 6. Load deal. It was number 6, and I have to do the rewind. That's what was going on. Yeah. Okay, so we did the rewind. Dot, 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 dot. And like John says, it's time to give a chance. So you, as the declarer, you're thinking, And did John say what diamond? He said promote.
Promote
Diamond play.
suit, play low to the king.
Low to the king. Well, we're not in the north hand yet, so I hope you see a two-way finesse opportunity for the jack and there. So we're going to try it the other way, and we could do it with a 10. All right. Well, okay. So it's up to west. Let's go ahead and show the east. Well, I'm actually should be showing the northwest hand again. There's the dummy. So, okay. They won the first trick with the king, and back at you with the 10. That good old guess again. Don't you like it? You know what they're doing now, and you're saying, huh. Well, they don't have the 10, 9, 8, do they? Because I've got the 8. So if we go up, oops, then they're going to go up. Yes, yes. Okay, let's go ahead and play that diamond suit. Hey, I got an honor there. I'm feeling very good as south. Okay, we're going to go low. Test it out. Yep, we're just going to go the 9 since the other 2 are gone. And yep, that's cool. And we'll go ahead and play yet another diamond. Yeah, it was a 4-3-3 suit. Thank God for that. And yeah, they can go ahead and play that spade through, and no reason to duck now. You just had to duck the one time, and you can see that you've got another couple of clubs. Your diamond. Thank you, Wes. Thank you for playing that jack, and you made the contract. And we're going to go back and look again. And okay, the 10, and this time new. I've got that 8, or maybe my partner has the 8. I'm just going to play low because I know that it's not the last of their touching honors. Right? We want that last of the touching one. Okay. So, like, man, now do you go up with the king or do you let it ride? Who's got the jack? Who's got the jack? And I'm going to put all 4 hands there. Who's got the jack? So, here's the thing you did. You know, if you're a good declarer, it's a different holding, but it's the same scenario. And if your defenders are lesser players than you, because, you know, these things are not real easy to learn. But once you get to say, well, hey, as a declarer, here's what I would do it. Now you're ready to make the breakthrough as a defender and say, okay, I've got it. I know what I would do if I was holding that. And I'm going to cover the last of touching honors. I remember that from that lesson. And in this case, I'm going to duck. And I guess that's, I think, all I've got for now today. And Grace has given me the kind of the hook there. So what questions do you all have?
If we could go back to the previous hand, I believe it might have been 5, the one that you pulled up just a moment ago. There were a couple of questions still remaining from that one if we have time.
Sure. Okay, let's take a look at them here. Absolutely.
Alrighty, so Bernice said, if partner leads a low trump and you hold A105, 10 and 5. Okay, ace 10 5. Which do you play? Contract is 2 hearts.
I didn't quite catch that. Let me take a look at it on the screen. That
Okay.
is coming from who?
Bernice.
Bernice, and that goes back a ways. If partner leads a low trump, is that it?
Correct.
Okay, partner leads a low trump, and you hold ace 10 5. Which do you play? Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. She says it's not this lesson.
Oh, okay. Well, just generally, we don't know if it's a suit contract or a no trump contract. Oh, a low trump. Okay. Oh, if partner leads a low trump and you hold ace 10 5, and we don't know what the dummy is, that's all we know at this point. Well, I think the partner is making a safe lead. This is not considered an active lead, it's a passive lead. And I'm getting the feeling that their strategy is saying, I think there's some roughing opportunities for the declare by the way the bid is. And I would look at the dummy and say, hopefully before I look at the dummy, I have an agreement. And I look at the dummy and I say, oh yeah, they're right. They're going to do some roughing on their second suit. I can see that because there's only a singleton in the dummy of that side suit. So I am going to go up with my ace and I'm going to wink at my partner. No, I can't wink until after it's over. I'm going to go ahead and play a second one. I think between in the 10 and the little, if it's trump, then they've got 8 or 9 in the suit, whatever it is. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So good question. And was there anything else on this hand?
No.
Not really. Okay. Well, everybody, I think that kind of gives us a good chance to maybe reflect a little bit on the declare. And I hope that's the big epiphany that comes out of today. And if I can get myself on the screen here, and Grace, come on in, is that, we get these situations where we have a lot of opportunities to play these hands differently. And when you're a good declarer, you'll know how to give a good test to the emerging defenders. And if you're a good declare who happens to be a defender on this hand, and you know what the declare is doing, you'll remember these things like covering an honor with an honor. If it's the last one, and if it happens to be where there's a 10 card suit, just play low. There's no reason not to, because you want to have your opponent always make the maximum amount of guesses and you the minimum amount of guesses. And when you have some of these intermediate cards as declare, think about that also. Think about how can I make them have the maximum amount of guesses. What do you think, Grace?
I think that sounds really good. Says a non-bridge player.
And we did okay in terms of the audience and everything? We have a good number today?
We did. We had a good number today. We definitely thank you for being here. And if you're telling your other bridge friends, we appreciate that as well. Always appreciate those thumbs up to get us that extra juice. We will be here tomorrow on Wednesday.
And then on Thursday, we're going to take a day off.
We're going to take a day off.
Here's the master plan, and we'll send out an email just to let you know more about this, is that in April, with the COVID-19, we thought, let's go ahead and do the LIDA live every day, April. And now we're going to go back to more of a schedule than we had before in those previous months. So we still love the idea of live streaming and working with you. And YouTube gets, a lot of love when we get a lot of people. They broadcast this out to maybe rather than 50 or 100 people, it goes out to maybe 500 people. So thank you for your comments. That really does help us a lot. So we're thinking that as we get into doing some of our California travel videos, we might kind of go out on some Sundays and come back in the midweek. So we're thinking that Thursday has never been a strong day. So Wednesday, take a day off. Thursday, I'll get ready for my weekend lesson. Friday, we'll do another one.
Fun Friday.
And then I think maybe on Saturday rather than Sunday for the paying members is when we'll probably do that. And then if we want to go ahead and leave on there. So we're thinking 3 days a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And at some point, I guess we'd like to get some of the people who are really enjoying these lessons is to become BridgeHand members also. So I think what we'll be doing is you won't have a link that would be specifically for that day. Instead, you'll just be coming in and seeing where the live show is once you go to, YouTube/BridgeHands. And that means is that if you watch it live, I'm going to do with Chase Jarvis, the creative live model is we'll be...
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry, SIRI.
Sorry.
So, no, what we're going to do is we're going to have where if you watch it live, that's fine. We're not going to be having any problems if you watch it live. But if you don't watch it live, it will be unpublished afterwards for the Wednesday and the Friday. And we're going to try that and see how that works. But we love it when everybody's here. Not going to be any charges for any of these for the Wednesday and Friday. So only for the Saturday is the one where we have, it's a 2-hour lesson with a lot of hands for our people who are the premium and ultra members. Did I say that well?
I think so. I mean, he'll explain it better as we send out the email, and we'll be reading those comments. We thank you for thanking us, and we are really happy. Mary actually made it from Facebook over here to YouTube.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
So let's give Mary a big welcome. She's currently on her daughter's YouTube, but we thank her for being here, and who knows, maybe she'll sign up for her own.
Yeah, it's nice. So I know it takes a little bit of things to go through the Google process to get your ID and passwords, but it's only painful for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're in like Flint. And if you're really good, tell my mother to do that. Mom will watch, but she still doesn't have the YouTube. But we'll have to get her signed up too.
We'll have to get her signed up, but we give her massive props for even paying attention at all.
She's a good teacher.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
So everybody, let's see. I think that's about it for today. So we're going to be starting at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, tomorrow. So until then, as always, happy trails to you.
Happy
Peace
trails.
out. Bye for now. Happy trails to you until we meet again.